everyone, it's Jennifer. Welcome to the first episode of the Gospel of I-Sayeth. Get it? I've been threatening to do this for years, and now I'm just gonna say what the heck. I conferred with the goddess, and she said, yes, Jennifer, I think that's a smashing idea. So I said, amen and yay women, and I'm deciding to do it. And so the first episode conveniently coincides with Mother's Day, which was yesterday. I'm recording this on a Monday after May 10th, Mother's Day 2020. So here we go. Today we are talking about the unsung moms. The moms that you may have heard of all your lives, but you have never physically met because they exist figuratively. We're just gonna have a little bit of fun. This isn't really a spiritual service per se. This is just musings on life. Basically, all of my episodes are going to be musings on life. Sometimes you'll hear God or spirit, but they'll never get super religious. Let's start off with a super religious person that's one of my icons. After having just said that, Mother Teresa. One of my good friends, Stevie B, actually got to meet her and shake her hand, and he has a picture of the two of them on his wall. How priceless. Yesterday was Mother's Day, and so we're going to talk about some of the advice that your mother would give you, or if you were a mom, what you would give your children. And Mother Teresa, although she was not a physical mother in her lifetime, she certainly touched millions and millions and continues to do so through her teachings and her writings. So Mother Teresa says, people are often unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some false friends and some fast enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and frank, people may cheat you. Be honest and frank anyway. What you spend years building, someone could destroy overnight. Build anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, they may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today, people will often forget tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give the world the best you have anyway. You see, in the final analysis, it is between you and your God. It was never between you and them anyway. Breathe into that. So you'll notice that I have on my granny glasses today. I am not a granny yet, but I do have to use granny glasses. Today we're here to honor all of the unsung moms, all of whom we've heard of, but we may not recognize as having impacted our lives or the way we have brought up our children. So we're going to have a little lighthearted fun, and we're going to see what you identify with. You may identify yourself in one or some of these. You may identify your mother or your grandmother in one or some of these. But here we go. Number one. The one that gets the vote for most popular and miscongeniality every time. The one every mother strives to be and strives to emulate. And of course we're talking about Mother Goose. Mother Goose represents the nurturing, caring mother, the one who's always there with a sympathetic ear, the one that can talk you down off the ledge, give you the big hugs, have you sitting in the kitchen while she makes you a cup of coffee or a cup of hot cocoa. The really touchy-feely, wonderful, loving, caring mom. That's who Mother Goose represents. She's the one that is also a very great storyteller. Now, our family had a Mother Goose. We had our grandmother we called Ninny, That was my dad's mom. And she would tell us bedtime stories with some characters that she had made up. And it was always the same group of characters, but they would get into different situations and there'd always be a moral to the story if she didn't fall asleep first. But we'd all pile into the big bed with her, and either she'd fall asleep mid-sentence or we'd fall asleep. But either way, we all fell asleep eventually, listening to these wonderful, creative stories. This is actually her piano right here. It's the very first piano that I ever played on that I just recently put together. But the Mother Goose archetype is the one that can make a Halloween costume out of an apron and a mop. She's the one that is always volunteering at school or at spiritual centers or community centers to help out. The Care.com commercial on TV right now says, it's got a wonderful byline, and the very first time I heard it, it struck me right in the heart, and I'm like, whoever wrote that, that's truth with a capital T. And the byline of this commercial, the tagline is, when you focus on care, everything else falls into place. And that actually just sums up the Mother Goose archetype. She's the one that focuses on caring every time. So that's archetype number one. Now, speaking of commercials, there was another commercial in the mid-70s. I think it was a Parquet commercial. It was a margarine commercial. And you have the actress that's dressed up as Mother Nature with her little flowers around her hair. And she's trying the butter, and she's like, oh, this butter is delicious. And then the announcer says, it's not butter, it's Parquet. And there's a big blast of thunder and lightning, and she points to the camera and says, it's not nice to fool Mother Nature. Well, that's our next archetype, Mother Nature. She represents the majestic, authoritative mother, beautiful, dressed to the nines perhaps. She's the mom who it's all about her, the ego-centered mom. She's the one that's focused on herself for one reason or another. So the reason I'm using this as the archetype for the remote mother, you think Mother Nature, but that's flowers and that's rainbows and unicorns. Well, Mother Nature is also tornadoes, major storms, hurricanes, fires, floods, high winds, lightning. Mother Nature is all of that. And she just keeps on going. She evolves in her own time and does her own thing, and she doesn't bother to look back at human wreckage or man-made structures or any kind of wreckage that has been left behind. She just keeps on going. It's the mom that you don't save your drama for because she's already got plenty of it on her own. The one who's remote and emotionally unavailable. It might also be the mom that faces addiction problems or any kind of eating disorders or any kind of psychological issues, anything that causes her to have to hyper-focus on herself and not necessarily be a natural nurturer and a natural empathizer to be able to be a touchy-feely, hands-on kind of mom. Now, the next mother that we're going to talk about is my personal favorite because I am a fan of cleverness. I guess I get it from all of my grandparents and my mom and my dad, but I love cleverness. I love it when people use their superpowers and their brain power for good, and that people can create things and come up with great techniques and organizational ways to do things. So necessity, the mother of invention. She's the one who can handle any task at hand. She can make something out of nothing. She can find a new route. She can open up the cupboard and whatever's in there, throw something together and make a phenomenal supper. She's just super highly creative, super ingenious and adaptable. Right now, we have a lot of moms who are having to screech on the brakes and stay at home and learn how to teach their kids. And it's really vital right now. Some of these moms that have teenagers or kids that are about to go into high school, it's their future they're talking about. And we don't know if school is going to start in fall of this year of 2020. And so moms are having to adapt and think on their feet right now and learn a whole new way to communicate and be in relationship with their children. Necessity, the mother of invention, she's the one that's always thinking. She's got the quick wit. She's always thinking of a new way to go about things. I personally feel right now with all of the pandemic and the COVID stuff that's going on, I think things have been unraveling now for a while on the planet. And not just in the United States. I'm not going to get political, but I'm just saying sometimes things have to unravel and fall apart so that they can be put back together again more logically and with more current information and with fresh minds. And we have a lot of women, a lot of females out there who are doctors and scientists and researchers and financial managers, and they're all working together on how to resolve what is happening right now. The next mother that we have on the list, the next archetype, is the little old lady who lived in the shoe. And of course, the little old lady who lived in the shoe represents overwhelm. And we've all been there, right? It takes a lot to be a mom. I only have one, and it was a lot. I mean, we're cruising right now. She's a functional adult, and things are going great. But boy, when you're a mom, it's easy to fall into overwhelm. Or even if you're a grandma, when you have all of the weight of entertaining your children, getting them up and ready for school, making sure they're fed, making sure you take care of all the boo-boos, you're the doctor and the nurse, you're scheduling everything, a lot of times maintaining all the finances, doing all the laundry, all the chores, all the household. I mean, it's a lot. It's easy to fall into overwhelm. And I only have one child. I can't imagine what people with multiple children do or have done. It's just a lot sometimes. I am now caretaking my mom, and she's pretty independent right now, and she just recently moved in this past Thanksgiving, right before 2020, and she's holding her own right now, but she requires some care, and it is taking a lot for me to get back. I have to get back into mama mode. My child has been gone for a while. And now I'm caretaking someone else, and sometimes it's a lot. One of my main points I want to reach out to all of you today, and especially younger mothers that may not have learned all the wisdom yet and all the patience and how to laugh things off and how to just let things go. I want to say to the overwhelmed people, whether you're young or old, and a mom or a grandma or just a woman that feels overwhelmed, it's okay to let go of some things so that you're not juggling so much. Mother Teresa has another great quote, and I don't think I printed it out, but I'm going to see if I can remember it. She says, "It doesn't matter what you do as long as you love what you do." And that's really true. And if you're feeling like you're not getting enough time to yourself, that's a big issue too. And a way to fight overwhelm is to make sure you just take a breather. Go out for a 10-minute walk. Give yourself 10 or 15 minutes a couple of times a day just for you, if not more. Our very last archetype is Wonder Woman, and she represents, of course, strength. Some of us have experienced the mom who has done it all. Our mom was one of those people. And this is the mom that can take lemons and make lemonade. I mean, you think of Wonder Woman. She did every single thing that all the other Avengers did in a corset and a nice tight little belt and high-heeled sassy boots and a tiara on her head and the lasso of truth. I love Wonder Woman. She's awesome. Some of us mourn the fact that we are no longer Wonder Women. I know my mother does. And I've heard other senior people or people that have had debilitating illnesses mourn the fact that they're not who they used to be. And here's another one of my solid takes that I want all of you to take away today, especially you moms out there, is that it's okay if you're not the person that you used to be. And 9 times out of 10, it's probably better that you're not the person that you used to be, because you've evolved into the person that you are now. I want all of you that are mourning the fact that you're not Wonder Woman to look back and look at all the time frame that you were, and all those years or decades that you kept things running meticulously. And you may not be on your game on that game anymore, okay? That's just not who you are anymore. That's not your purpose anymore. And so if you're feeling less than right now, the trick is to find a new purpose. Find something else to do. Comforting the grieving ex-Wonder Woman can be challenging. Because if you're dementia or you have anything that affects your mental, any kind of psychological challenges, sometimes you can't motivate yourself to do the things you used to love to do. Depression can set in, or there may be physiological things going on that are affecting your psychological makeup. Or we have physical disabilities that we just can't do what we used to do, or crochet, or do things that we used to do. And, again, just figure out something else to do. My mom's on the computer a lot. She may be a little bit demented, but she gets on that computer. She does solitaire. She does Facebook. She does inspirational verses. Now she is able to find all the memes that are on Facebook, and she'll write them down, and then she'll retype them in the computer and put little clip art. But, that's just something she has found to do, that she loves to do, and she finds huge joy in doing it. We all have that capability. We can invent who we are right now. Going back to necessity, the mother of invention. We can reinvent ourselves every day, every single day, no matter how young or how old we are. Today is not just about honoring our mothers. It's about honoring and acknowledging ourselves too, and recognizing that we have all come a long way. I know I have come a long way as an individual and as a mother and as a daughter, even, over the past 53 years. It's been a long road, and we all learn a lot. We do learn as we go. And I'm not going to say that it gets easier, because sometimes life is just always going to throw you something. And that's when you become necessity, the mother of invention. That's when you stand strong in your Wonder Woman stance. It's okay also to give yourself breaks. You can take breaks, and you can give yourself a break mentally too, and not bash yourself. We have expended vast amounts of energy so far doing the very best we can. And a lot of times for less pay or no pay, a lot of times with little acknowledgement from anyone, and sometimes without a partner, without someone there to support us. In closing, I'd like to quote Mother Teresa again. If you want to change the world, go home and love your family. Well, we are either one of these archetypes that we spoke of today, or we're all of them, and we vacillate in and out of them on any given day at any given time. No matter who you are or what kind of mom you are, we honor everyone who is brave enough to show up and actively participate in motherhood, because sometimes it can be a lot, and sometimes it can be amazing, and sometimes it can be adventurous and creative. Forrest Gump's mama said, "Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know which one you're going to get." And you know what? Forrest Gump's mama was right. You never know which kind of mom you're going to get. You never know which kind of mom you're going to be. You never know which kind of child you're going to get. That is for sure. You never know. But today we're just acknowledging everything and just realizing that we can go through all of the different archetypes and not get stuck in any one, and be able to function and move forward with love and with humor, with just the right amount of self-care and love and compassion and empathy for those around us, so that we maintain a balance. That's my wish for all of you, especially with everything that's going on right now, is to just maintain some balance in your lives. And know that you are loved. And I would close with namaste, but a lot of my little baby yoga people say namaste. So since it's so close to Mother's Day, since that was just yesterday, instead of namaste, let's sign out today with mamaste. You ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Mamaste.